Hare Krishna devotees, Dhanvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Guru and Gauranga. So, continuing our discussion on Srila Prabhupada's small book, Krishna Consciousness, the Matchless Gift. So now we shall discuss further on chapter number 3, Transcending Designations and Problems. So before start, let us do Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarajata Sahagana Harunathanikantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Bhajana Sahitam Krishna Saitam Nadevam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nritamscha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Nasate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratasena Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Natinamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshitarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Chapter number 6, Transcending Designations and Problems. Krishna consciousness is easily achieved by mercy of Lord Chaitanya, but only some are fortunate enough to have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and his disciplic succession. According to the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yattati siddhaye yadatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tattvataha. Translations: out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse number 3. God realization is not possible for animals, or for persons who are almost animals, or for animals in the shape of human beings. Contemporary civilization is by and large an assembly of animals because, as stated before, it operates on the basis of animalistic propensities. The birds and beasts arise early in the morning and busy themselves trying to find food and sex and trying to defend themselves. At night they look for shelter, and in the morning they fly to a tree to find nuts and fruits. Similarly, in the New York City, great hordes of people travel from one island to another by ferry, boat, or wait for subways in order to go to the office for purpose of finding food. How is this an advancement over animal life? Although the ferry and subways are always crowded and many people have to travel 40 or 50 miles for a break, the birds are free to fly from one tree to another. Real civilization is not concerned simply with man's animal need, but with enabling man to understand his relationship with God, the Supreme Father. One may learn about his relationship with God by any process, through Christianity, through the Vedic literature, or through Quran, but in any case, it must be learned. The purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement is not to make Christians into Hindus or Hindus into Christians, but to inform everyone that the duty of human being is to understand his relationship with God. One must learn this, otherwise he is simply wasting his time by engaging in animalistic propensity. We must all try to love God or Krishna. If one has a process, he should practice it, or he can come and learn this process. One should not begrudge the selection of one process over another. Vishadapi amritan grahyam amedhyat api kanchanam vichadapi uttamam vidya shriratnam dukkhalat api dushkulat api. Niti Darpan 1.16. Chanakya Pandit says that one must catch what is right from any source. If there is a glass of poison with some nectar in it, he says one should take out nectar and leave the poison. In the same way, if one finds God in fizzy place, he should take it. Similarly, although according to the Vedic system of education, one must be given instructions by intelligent persons like Brahmanas. If someone lower than the social scale has learned the truth, one should accept him as a teacher and learn from him. One should not think that just because he is lowly born, he not be accepted as a teacher. Similarly, if one is serious about understanding God, he should not think I am a Christian, I am Hindu, or I am Muslim. If one is serious about understanding love of God, he should consider which process is practical. One should not think, why should I follow Hindu or Vedic scriptures? The purpose of following the Vedic scripture is to develop love of God. When students come to America for higher education, they do not consider the fact that teacher may be American, German or other nationalities. If one wants higher education, he simply comes and takes it. Similarly, if there is an effective process for understanding and approaching God like this Krishna consciousness movement, one should take it. Not all, but those who are intelligent and fortunate take to this process of devotional service, Kevalya Bhaktya, and their only desire is to serve Krishna from early morning till late night. The devotees are engaged in Krishna service. This is called Kevalya, pure. For them, there is no other business. This process is recommended for all, and it is the perfection of all religious process. Savepam pumsam puru dharmo yatur bhakti radokshache. In Sanskrit, there are two words, para and apara, which describes the superior, transcendental, and the inferior, material, approaches to the religion. In execution of material dharma or a religion performed for material gain, people generally go to a church or a temple and pray, God, give us our daily bread. Actually, this need not to be asked for. For bread is already provided for everyone. Even the birds and bees get their bread without having to go to church to ask God for it. Similarly, our bread is also provided, whether we go to a church or not. That is not a problem, for no one is dying in the streets of starvation. Nor do we find birds, beasts, or even an ant dying of starvation. Food is there, and one need not bother about it. If brain should be taxed, it should be taxed for Krishna or God. This is the proper utilization of time. There is no scarcity of bread in the kingdom of God. Tasyeva hetu priyate tako vido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparuta. Srimad Bhagavatam says that one should try to attain that which cannot be attained by traveling all over the universe. What is that? Kevalya Bhaktya, pure devotion. By God's arrangement, there is sufficient food, land and prospects for food on this earth. But we have arranged things in such a way that one part of the world people are suffering, and in another part they are throwing grains in the oceans. Veda says, Eko Bahunam Yuvittati Kaman. The Supreme Person is supplying food to many living entities. The difficulty in this material world is that we take more than we need and thus creates our own problems. Problems are created by man, led by so-called politicians. According to the nature's way or God's way, everything is complete. According to the Sri Ishopanishad, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Gacchate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Translations. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because of this all emanations from Him, such as His phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever it produces of the complete whole is also completed in itself, because He is the complete whole. Even though so many complete these units are emanated from Him, He remains the complete balance. Shri Upanishad Invocation. God is complete, His incarnation is complete, and His arrangements are complete, but we are creating disturbances. Real education is that which makes people Krishna conscious, so that they will properly utilize the resources of earth and stop creating disturbances. It is not possible to solve problems by passing a resolution in United Nations. One must know the actual method of solving problems. Shukadeva Goswami says that simply by pure devotional service one can solve the problems of life. Who can do this? It is not possible for an ordinary man, but for those who are Vasudeva Parayana, devoted to Lord Sri Krishna. Vasudeva. Only those whose concern is to satisfy Krishna and who takes to pure unalloyed devotional service can solve the problems of life. Agham Dhunvanti. As already explained, problems are created by sinful activities. Although there is enough food, everyone stocks more than is needed in order to make a profit or simply in order to hoard. In 1942, in India, there was an artificial famine created by a people gathering money and stocking it unnecessarily. Wealthy men collected rice which was selling at 60 rupees a pound, and suddenly within a week the price rose to the 50 rupees pound. Consequently, I repeat, wealthy men collected rice which was selling at 6 rupees a pound, and suddenly within a week price rose to 50 rupees a pound. Consequently, no rice was available on market, and the people went hungry. An American gentleman were present or at that time remarked, if people in our country were starving in this way, there would have been a revolution. The people in India, however, are so trained and cultured that in spite of this artificial famine, they did not revolt, but they preferred to die peacefully. Of course, this is only one instance, but it shows how problems are not created by God, but by man. In Germany, during the First World War, the women went to a church and prayed to God to send their husbands and sons and brothers back safely. But none of them came back. All of the women became atheists. They did not consider that God is not advocate the war and its problems. They went to Him for a solution. When we create our own problems, we have to suffer the results. It is a fact, however, that the problems of one who takes to the shelter of Krishna, God, are solved. For this reason, if for none other, one should apply his devotional service to Vasudeva. I repeat, for this reason, if no one other, one should apply his devotional service to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayat Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Hetukam. If one engages in devotional services to the Vasudeva, he will receive the highest knowledge without delay. Janayat Vairagyam. The words Jnana Vairagyam refers to that knowledge which one becomes detached from material allurement. The word Jnana means knowledge and Vairagyam means detachment. Both Jnana and Vairagyam are required in this human form of life. One should know, I am spirit soul, I have nothing to do with this material world, but because I have desired to enjoy it in different ways, I am transmigrating from one body to another. I do not know when this began, but it is still going on. This is real knowledge. To be knowledgeable, one must understand his constitutional position and realize how he is suffering in this material world. That perfection of knowledge comes when one becomes Vasudev Parayana, devoted to Lord Vasudev. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavamam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sahamatma Sudurlabham. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse number 19. Those great souls who know perfectly well that Krishna, Vasudev is the source of everything are very rare. It is easy to find so-called Mahatmas with long beards and mustaches who tells everyone that they are one with God and that when they die they will wake up and become God. But these are not really Mahatmas. Rather they are Duratmas, hard-hearted, because they want to encroach on the rightful position of Krishna and become one with him. If there were a servant in the office who tried to occupy the position of employer, would the employer like it? Similarly, any living entity who is trying to become God is not very much God's liking. Of course, no one can become God, but this endeavor to become God or his competitor is not very pleasing to him. Person who tried to describe in Bhagavad Gita as Dvishtaha, envious, the Lord says, Tanaham Dvishtaha Kruran Samsareshu Naradhaman Kshipami Ajasram Asubhan Ashirasu Eva Yonishu. Translations: envious, mischievous, the lowest of mankind, yet do I ever put back into the ocean of material existence into various demonic species of life. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verse number 19. They are put into hellish conditions because they are envious of God's position. First, they try to occupy high positions in this material world, and when they are frustrated in this attempt, they think, now I shall occupy the position of God. Of course, this desire is also frustrated because no one can become God. God is God, and the living entity is the living entity. God is supreme and infinite. We are finitesimal. Our position is to serve God, and when we are according to our position, we become happy. By imitating God, happiness cannot be obtained. Yasyeka nivasita kalam atavallab valam vyajivati homa vijala jagat andanatha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse number 48. There are innumerable universes, and within one breath of Mahavishnu, their universes are in hell and dissolved within his body. How then can a living entity become a God? God is not so cheap. Therefore, we must become advanced in knowledge and accept Vasudev, Krishna, as the Supreme. There is no question of Krishna being a man. At no stage in his appearance on earth did he appear as an ordinary living entity. Even as a baby, he performed miraculous feats way beyond the ability of the ordinary living entity. One should not consider that when he is surrendering to Krishna, he is surrendering to an ordinary man, because to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And indeed, that is confirmed by all Vedic literature. Agam Dhanvanti, all reactions to sinful activities are cancelled when one surrendered to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself advises personal surrender to him. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayami ma sucha. Give up all varieties of religiousness and just surrender unto me, and in return I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse number 66. Therefore, one who is a devotee, Vasudhaiva Parayana, and who simply engages in devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful reactions. Devotional service to Krishna or Krishna consciousness can never be attained by any amount of speculation, but by the causeless mercy of a pure devotee of Krishna. It is a matchless gift bestowed by the Mahatma or a great soul out of compassion for fallen living entities. It is said that by the grace of Krishna one gets a guru or a spiritual master, and by the grace of spiritual master one gets Krishna. This is like a gift of sunshine. At night there is darkness, but in the morning, as soon as the sun rises, immediately millions of miles of darkness are removed. In the same way, if we try to make the sun of Krishna rise within our hearts, all our problems will be solved. So with this we have completed our chapter number 6, Transcending Designations and Problems. Thank you so much, your servant, Yash Naidas.